And we are live, guys. I'm very happy to have the Bassett Magazine podcast tonight. Last week it just didn't work. There's always something, always something. But anyways, man, my name is James. I'm going to be your host tonight at the Bassett Magazine podcast. Bassett Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. With me tonight, I have a guy who freaking personifies the Weekend Angler. The guy who just loves to fish and does it because of passion. And this guy spreads this all over the United States. None other than Frankie Provolone.
Whoa! What's up, Slayers? What's up,
That
Jay
threw me
Angel?
off, man. Provolone, I read that. Frankie Provolone from Slay Nation.
That's right. What's going on, Jay? How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. It's about 98 degrees down here.
Oh,
and look, we already have I must be broadcasting somewhere. Hi. Cajun Rob just said, hey, mister. You know Cajun Rob Welsh?
It sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, Rob's all over the internet. He's one of my best friends. He said, hey, Mr. Slayhammer.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Welsh? Happy Wednesday. Happy
Wednesday, man. You know what, guys? It's Wednesday night. Make your plans to go fishing. You only get to do this once. I like to say that on every one of my broadcasts. But, man, Mr. Slay Nation, tell us, Frankie, what is Slay Nation?
Yeah, so Slay Nation. First off, thanks for having us on, Jay. We appreciate it. Man, always love coming on podcast and repping the Slay family. So yeah, Slay Nation tournament fishing. What we are is we provide tournament opportunities to the everyday angler and turn them into everyday slayers, whether young, old, male, female, doesn't matter. We have online opportunities and live events. So we offer a variety of bass fishing opportunities right now. If you have a kayak, you want to fish in our kayak series, we have that. We have John boat clubs, right, which is our small vessel club, electric only, right? Kayaks. You can fish as a team.
Only, huh?
Yeah, we have our small vessels electric only. You can fish as a team in a canoe, a kayaks, or John boats. That's how the whole thing started. We also have our horsepower series now. This is our second year offering horsepower series. So the big glitter boats now have opportunities to participate.
Is that any horsepower?
Yeah, well, depending on the club. So, for example, in Connecticut, we have a horsepower club. They go all the way up to 250, right?
Sure.
And then we have a horsepower club in Michigan. You know, they max out at 75 horsepower, right? So it depends on the club. But yes, we do open it up to the max pretty much, and provide that opportunity to the big boat world to do catch, photo, release tournament fishing. And then we have online opportunities. We have a ladies only online series, which is our third year doing that. A youth series. It's called our Next Generation series. That's for youth that can fish online. And then we have a national slot series for anybody, Slay Nation members to participate.
So Frank, if somebody wanted to learn more about Slay Nation, where would they go?
Yeah, just visit our website, SlayNationTournamentFishing.com. That's the best place to go. Or you could follow us on our Instagram page or our Facebook group, which you could just join. And we're pretty active, so you'll see a lot of highlights from across the country, what's going on. And then if you want like some more background information, visit our website and, see what's near you. Okay. And maybe you live in, for example, in New York, upstate New York, we have a kayak series up there. So that's a great way to find information on where we are.
So guys, there's a crawler at the bottom of the screen, Slay Nation Tournament Fishing. Did I get that right, Frankie?
SlayNationTournamentFishing.com. You did. Good job.
Okay. That's probably the one thing I'm going to get right tonight. I'm just an average guy, folks. If you haven't figured that out yet, man, I work for a living. I have kids. I have kids. I have a job.
That's it, man.
Keep
them busy. Hey, if you didn't have bills, we'd all be jealous.
And I have an addiction.
That's right.
And that addiction is called fishing, man. It's more than a lifestyle. It's more than just a passion. It's something that dominates my every thought every day.
Hell yeah.
And that's why I have Frankie from Slay Nation.
right.
So, okay, crawler at the bottom. So you are starting a Slay Nation tournament trail right here in Louisiana, aren't you?
Yeah, that's in the works. We are going to do an open later July. Doug Boswell, him and I have been in contact. I got to actually call him next week after school ends for me here, and he put together a little schedule, a little skeleton schedule so far of a list of ideas down by his area. Now I don't remember the area of Louisiana he is from, but we're thinking of doing a small vessel series. So that will be if you have a kayak, a john boat, a canoe, that'll be the offering down that area, and you can fish as a team, right? And that's what it's all about. And so we're working on that, and we'll share it with you, Jake, 'cause I know you're down there in Louisiana, so we'll share it. He's got some good lakes.
I'm going to say this right now. Anybody wants me as part of their team, let me know.
Yes.
I'm big. I'm mean. I take up a lot of room in the boat, but I can catch fish.
There you go. That's all that matters. Who cares how messy you are, how much room you take up? As long as you catch fish.
I make a horrible mess, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. You should see the boat at the end of the. I only have a 10-foot john boat. At the end of the day, forget it. My co-partner and I. You can't even move.
This is my podcasting area. This is what I have in it.
Oh, nice.
And you know what? I want to show you something, Frankie. I just bought. I did a thing.
Oh.
I drove all over Gonzales, Baton Rouge, and Denham Springs to find one package of these.
One, Jesus.
And then I showed it to my wife, and I'm like, "Look what I have." And she looked at this and she said, "Are you freaking crazy? We drove 75 miles so that you can buy that." I'm like, I'd have driven a lot further than that to find these. Man, look at that.
I know. It's definitely, alien looking. Something.
You need a big old EWG hook for that.
Yeah. How long are those tanukis or whatever they're called?
Yama
Tanuki?
Yama Tanuki, yeah.
What is that? Is that 4-inch?
And they are Yama Tanuki. It's one word.
Gotcha.
Yama Tanuki, and they are coming out with a 2.5-incher now, which is going to be great in the heavily pressured waters. Where a lot of times, you're fishing, even if you're not fishing tournaments, there's one water if you're like the rest of us and you have to fish on the weekends. If you're on a popular body of water, there's going to be a tournament there, and 6 guys have already gone down that shoreline. It all looks like great real estate. Man, if you have a 2.5-inch Yama Tanuki, I'd probably use about maybe a 2-aught with a big old punklage flat. That thing weighs 5/8 of an ounce.
Oh wow!
And you can skip it like.
Oh, I bet.
Look at it, but the thing about that is, a lot of guys are actually using the screw head hooks.
Okay.
Because if you put that hook, if you put a big old piece of metal like a size 5 EWG through that, size 5, a 5-aught.
Yep.
Yamamoto Baits makes some fantastic stuff, but it doesn't stand up to.
No, yeah, it's going to split at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to split. And that's really no cut on Yamamoto because, man, I've been using the Senko since 1998.
Oh,
in fact, I'm reading an article about that right now. How I started out with the Sticko back in 1998, and that's what started my guide service. I fished with a guy, and we were fishing in a lake that wasn't real popular for small, and I caught a lake record smallmouth on my 5th cast on ever using a wacky rig.
Nice.
Man, I looked at him.
Wacky rig.
I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I'm like, I got to take this into the bait shop. He's like, yes, you do. And man, that guy measured that. He came out with a $100 bill. He goes, "That's a lake record, man. You just won this."
Woo! Let's go.
Guiding the year before, and that one fish launched my guide service.
There you go.
He took a picture of me. He made a life-size picture and put it up there. Jay Angel's guide service.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
And I was off to the races.
Yeah, that's great.
Man,
that's all it takes sometimes.
And that's what Slay Nation is all about, guys. What Frankie and I are doing right here. We're 2 guys talking about fishing, sharing information about how you guys can go out and have fun.
Yeah.
That's why I like these small tournaments, club tournaments.
Yeah.
Get out there, like Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
Be excellent to one another, man. Go out there, have fun, talk to each other. And just spirit of competition. Don't scream at some guy if he comes within 100 yards of your boat.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need that all the time.
Be cool, man. Just go out there, be a nice person, have some respect on the water of other boaters.
Yep.
And we can all have fun, man.
Oh, absolutely. It's what it's all about. That's why we do it. That's why we all fell in love with it, because it's fun. I think
that's
sometimes
why I wanted. No, I'm sorry, I did not mean to jump over you.
No, that's all right. No, go ahead.
That's why I wanted to promote your Slay Nation, because the first time I talked to you, I got the sense that this is how you feel too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, grassroots, small local clubs is the heart, right, of the fishing industry, right? I mean, because the very few and far in between are going to be getting to the elite level, right? And so it's nice to be able to feel like, right, those professional tournament anglers in your local clubs, right, rocking your jersey, reaching out to your own personal sponsors. It's having that feel. It's having that big time feel, right, with the local club, and it's best of both worlds. And also, you're fishing first place $400 instead of $10,000 or more. So,
but also you don't have to put up $5,000 or $1,500 for an entry fee.
No, you pay $60 or yeah.
I've done no. I have never put up $5,000. I put up 500 before, but I've had to drive 8 hours, 12 hours to get to the place, 5 days in a hotel. Man, that's
it's fun. Like it's great. It's great to experience that, right? It's great to experience that once or twice. Like, right? It's good, but it's hard to sustain, because then you're, what I mean?
I am 55 years old. I'm not in the best of health. I'm very overweight. I'd rather just fish with a couple of guys who are pleasant to be around. I've been fishing this small trail 2 hours north of here, and the guys, in the middle of the tournament, they all ended up in the same area, and they're just sitting there talking. This is a tournament, guys, and they're sitting, and I'm like, I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time with this, Man, if there was $50,000 on the road, I would not be talking to these guys.
Well, no, exactly. That would take all that out.
I want to be very careful here. The guys who make it to the Elite Series, I have mad respect for you guys.
Absolutely.
Because I know what it takes. As a guy who's been in the fishing industry since 1997, it's not a 9-to-5 job. No. Yep. And they had to do the exact same thing I'm doing to work their way up there. They were working a 9-to-5 job, or they had their own business, and every penny they made went into their business, and it's hard to keep a wife doing that.
Well, absolutely, I bet. I mean, that's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time on the road, and financial burden in most cases, right? You're taking out loans and can't pay them back. Right. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. And so, but the good thing is, with the evolution of the fishing industry, like these younger college kids, these high school kids, the learning curve is much earlier now, right? With all YouTube and all that, but also exposure, and them to have access to getting sponsors to provide content. So they have an earlier egg to be able to allocate some funds that maybe helps cushion this travel and trying to pursue that dream. And then, so it's really, like you got the old school, like when there was Redmans and all that, and all those tournaments, and like, guys you hear, and I mean, they still do it, sleeping in their cars and whatever they got to do.
Bassmasters.
Like, maybe buying 10 cheeseburgers from McDonald's and that's your food for the week, like, you hate to hear that, because it's really,
and it freaking storms all week. Yes, in a tent, and it storms all week. I've been there, done that.
Exactly, but like you said, you got to give anybody credit who's following their dreams. You just got to be careful that your dreams don't crush you, your life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, So
that's done that too.
Exactly. I mean, everybody has.
Well, people ask me what it takes. And I say, you have to have a great job.
Yeah.
And you have to have even a greater wife.
You have to have,
because if you're missing one element of that equation, you're going to lose them both.
Absolutely.
And Slay Nation. What I like about Slay Nation is it's a commitment, but it's not that big of a commitment. You're not going to lose everything because you decided to fish Slay Nation. You're not. It's not that. It's not that big. You're not putting everything you ever had on the line for this.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice mix because
which is what Bass and Magazine is all about.
Yeah, exactly. You get the weekend angler. Yeah, you're going to get your local sticks involved because they're like, oh, what's going on over here? Let me check it out. But we do a good job. Even our directors is, you got to be a member first off. So it's not like we do opens where there's the cash and dash, right? The anglers that know, oh wow, they're fishing my honey hole. Let me see if there's spots available. Show up, take first, and then you never see that person again, right? It's you got to be a member, you got to be dedicated. Like that's what we do. We also weed out. We try to weed out, anglers like that because that's not what this club is about. Like when you become a part of Slay Nation, that's why it's called Slay Nation and not Slay Connecticut only, right? It's Slay Nation for a reason. Like when you become a member with us, we want you to feel like you're a part of this larger community. We're going to look out for each other. We're going to cheer each other on, respect each other. Are there going to be some bad eggs here and there? Yep. We caught a cheater 2 months ago. You're going to get caught, but
come on.
Oh yeah.
Well, you're always going to have cheaters. It's always going to happen. It's been happening since the beginning of tournaments. We caught one on the Illinois River back in the 90s. And he didn't like me because in 2004, I remembered when he got caught and I brought that up with him in a bar and he didn't like that.
No, he didn't. No, well, that's what happens. Cheaters get salty.
Some big cheese, and I'm like,
yeah.
You haven't driven underneath that bridge again, have you? And he's like, Angel, I'll tell you what. I said, what are you going to tell me? Come on, man. You're never going to live that down. You know that. You shouldn't be fishing tournaments.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as I'm concerned, I have $3,000 in this tournament already. Then I see you came. Nah.
Yeah.
Guys don't cheat. It's just not worth it,
No, it's not.
It's just not worth it.
Not for $100.
$100. No.
Yeah.
You're going to lose.
Literally, third place.
All the credibility you ever had as a fisherman, because those guys, everybody was like, "Oh man, well, the guy lost his boat. The guy in Ohio, the guy who had the boat lost his boat, but also more than that, they can't ever fish a tournament again.
Yeah.
I've fished tournaments on Lake Erie. Man, that's brutal. You're going to, particularly walleye tournaments, you're going to sit out there and you're going to troll.
Oh, yeah.
In 6-footers.
No thanks.
All day long.
Yeah. Say goodbye to your back.
And then you hook into one and you're like.
No, I can't. I'm getting seasick looking at you do that. I can't do that.
Well, I did that a lot, but also, I was in my 20s, not in my 50s when I was doing that.
Well, that's true too. That's true.
Yeah,
when you had springs.
That really is not what tournaments are about. It definitely isn't what Slay Nation is about.
No,
and I'm not going to convince anybody to not do that. So let's just move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fun things. So, Frankie, where are you from? Why don't you tell the people?
Yeah, Connecticut. So I'm from Connecticut. I'm in Stratford, Connecticut. This is the Slay Nation headquarters. I'm in the basement, as you could tell. So I'm a Connecticut native here in the Northeast. So we're just wrapping up school here. I'm a school teacher. I'm a phys ed teacher. So we have I teach preschool to 8th grade phys ed, and our 8th graders, we have graduation tomorrow. So I got a speech for one of our graduates. So we're almost, I'm right there. The teachers, we just can't wait. After Friday, done. And then ready for the summer.
Done.
Yeah.
Done, man. So
we're excited.
Tell me, Connecticut, what is your go-to presentation when you are chasing bass in the waters of Connecticut?
Yeah. So depending on where you go, I mean, around here, definitely like our number one lake, which is always in the Bassmaster Top 100, is Candlewood Lake, right? It's a deep, clear lake. Lots of great smallmouth. I mean, it'll take you 24, 25 pounds plus to win every tournament if you're fishing big boats. Smallmouth, it always produces smallmouth. Oh yeah, smallmouth, largemouth. A lot of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey anglers come up here to fish the tournaments up here a lot. It gets pounded. Pleasure boats. I mean, it's like a washing machine, but it always produces. So you can always bank on a drop shot, a jig. There's multiple ways to really catch them up here. Think of you all like finesse fishing, right? Hair jigs, things of that nature. When you're up here in the Northeast, but you can catch them other ways too. Like the glide bait, the glide bait craze now, the swim baits is everybody in the Northeast. Everybody in the Northeast is trying to, bring that West Coast, Texas,
Are you talking
giant baits? Yeah, hard glide baits. I mean, I got a team in my club, Steve and Kenny. They're just dedicated swim bait guys, big hard swim baits, the 10, 12 inches. They don't catch a lot, but they always go for the big bass of the event. And I can't do it. I've yet to explore the big stuff. What do you got? You got something there?
Yeah.
I just picked up a few of those Chad shads.
I do a lot of work with David Swinside from Duo Realis.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
So to show you how big this thing is.
What is that? 8?
Probably 6. This is a Duo Realis swim bait.
Yeah, double jointed.
Yeah, and what he told me is if you come up on some prime real estate.
Oh, that looks nice.
And you think you can throw this thing without losing it, because I can't imagine what this thing cost. With Duo Realis,
Yeah. I mean, that's nice. That looks like, what is that, like a golden shiner? What is that? Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's something. I've used it a few times, and I've had bass follow it.
Yeah.
And this is a really good search bait because bass will follow it. Then you can throw, your wacky rigs.
Yep.
And catch him.
Yep.
Or throw your swim bait or swim jigs, like anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's like Northeast, you could do, like, we had a tournament at my club. We had a tournament on Sunday, this past Sunday. And the tactic, my partner and I, Ryan Nye, who's he's a well-known kayak angler here in the Northeast. He's number one. He's tied number one in the KBF kayak series,
wow.
The national one. Yeah.
Wow.
He's so anybody watching, go check out Ryan Nye fishing. Yeah, he's really good. So he fished with me. My partner was unable to make it. We allowed 2 substitutions in a season. So Ryan and I connected and the wacky rig. We were fishing a weighted wacky rig and just letting it sink to the bottom of these, little weed bunches here, like sporadic weeds, and that's how we were catching them. And so,
now, what is your favorite wacky rig to throw? Your favorite worm?
I mean, my favorite worm, I'll go with an X-Zone, right? They make a MB finesse worm. It's a larger one. I don't have any down here with me. I did have them the other night. What do you got? What is that, missile baits? Oh, yeah.
48, man. This is Bruiser Flash.
Yep.
Boy, that just, jeez.
It's a nice bait.
I like it because it doesn't sink as fast as a Senko.
Yes.
But also there's a lot of the other wood, and also that's a little bit. If you guys notice, that's a little bit different of a profile than the normal wacky rigs.
Yeah, that's a little like they're bubbles out at the ends.
Yeah, they've been making the same profile since the 90s for wacky rigs.
Yeah. And
now missile baits broke the mold, literally. And now the Yamatanuki that's something that's going to be fished in the same way, but also you can twitch some Yamatanuki and it goes kind of like, not unlike a jerk bait or a glide bait.
Yeah, almost like a walk the dog.
So much slower though. And what I like about that is I can have that Yamatanuki Texas rigged and go in between the cypress knees.
Yeah.
And those things, they will go down into those cypress knees if they sense something's down there.
Yep. It's like fishing a fluke, but just a little bit heavier.
Yeah. Man, I remember fishing the flukes back in the mid 90s.
Those are the best.
When I first got out of the Air Force in '93, and I started, I joined my first fishing club, and I remember after a guide on the lake, I eventually started guiding.
Yep.
At the Sluggo, which was the precursors of.
Let's go. That they're made in Lunker City. It's in Connecticut. It's in Meriden. That's only about 40 minutes from me. Yeah, the Sluggo. I'm pretty sure they still make the Sluggo. I know they still produce baits. I know that for a fact. Lunker City is I think a title sponsor for Alex Wetherall. on the Elite Series. He's out of Connecticut.
Wow. But this guy had a seminar on the Sluggo, and he was casting off the shore just for the Chabanelli Sportsman Club back in like 95.
Yeah.
And I
was that first soft style jerkbait.
Yes. Yep. I was a grad student, and I didn't have much time to do anything. Yeah, absolutely. Watch this. Man, I got to go buy some of those. I had about $4 to my name. He gave me a pack. He's like, great. You can't buy this? I'm like, man, I'm a grad student. Some days I can't eat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm eating grass over here. I'm picking leaves off the trees for lunch.
Yeah, when I was guiding, if some guy told me that, I'd give him. Even to this day, I'll give people free stuff.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell my sponsors. When you send me 100 packs of lures, 50 of them are going to be just given away to people.
Absolutely.
That's just the way I am. I like to help people out. And
that's great.
Also help the sponsors out, which then helps me out.
Exactly.
Prime the pumps.
Yeah, you just spread the love, man.
It's always free, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
And this is my heroine right there.
Yeah, that's good.
There, guys.
I got some X-Zone right here. I've been throwing these a lot lately.
Show me that. Take that out. Show it.
Yeah, that's X-Zone Whiplash. They're one of our title sponsors, and don't get me wrong. I love throwing the Zoom Super Flukes, but this Whiplash right here. I mean, this is chartreuse top with a pearl bottom, but like this thing, These are heavier than a Super Fluke, right? They're a little bit more weighted, so you'll cast further. It has a little bit slower or faster sink rate, but if you want to slow it down, use some mono to slow it down. But I'll tell you right now, this thing right here, the thing is different. Like, look at the tail, right?
Yes.
Extremely flimsy, like a Fluke, right? It'd be a little bit more stiffer. But this thing, the action that the tail gives you on these, I just love throwing a Fluke. Texas rig, nose hook it, it's my favorite.
Down here, one of the first, actually, I think it was the first redfish I ever caught on a lure. Was caught on a Fluke with an underspin.
Oh, nice.
And I went out with this guy as I wasn't even doing the podcast yet. It was a free veterans trip. I'm a veteran, proud veteran, and he said, I want to take you fishing, and his veterans club had already taken me fishing a couple times. He said, I want to take you fishing. I'm like, okay, man. We went out and we didn't have the big crabs or the shrimp. I'm like, don't you bring any bait? He goes, yeah, and he held up his one Plano box. Here's everything I need. We're gonna cast, and he goes, yeah. I'm a bass fisherman, man. I love
it's great.
Boring sitting there watching them.
It is. I agree. Yep. So just a Fluke and an underspin.
Yep. And I was up. And he was up front, or he was out back. Push pulling.
Yeah.
He was right over there. Cast. And I casted, and I got him. That was on a Fluke, man, a Zoom Fluke.
That's awesome.
Pretty much the same color you just had right there.
Yeah. I remember I caught my first red, and we're going back there this summer down in Outer Banks, North Carolina. Okay. And where we were staying, we were near the bay of wherever the hell we were. It was the bay. I mean, muddy water. And I went to the store, got some shrimp. There was a dock. I remember my daughter was young. She was like, I don't know, maybe 2 years old. She's 8 now. And I remember just casting out. I was catching, I guess they were like needlefish, really skinny. Fish. And then one, I was like, all right, this is, I don't know if this is a needlefish. And I pulled it in. It was like a 10-inch redfish. And I was like, oh, damn, there we go. So I'm excited to go back this summer to try to catch a bigger one.
Target species.
Yeah. I want to catch a bull red. Yeah, I know. I was
bull red. You're gonna know you have a fish.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to go for.
That or, man, yeah. Well, before you go, let me know. I'll tell you what I catch them on.
Yeah.
Not that it's a big secret. I mean, it's not a secret. It's called the Mojo Shrimp from Mojo Tackle Company. But
okay.
that's just a little thing. It's almost like Z-Man stuff. You can pull in like
Oh,
this.
gotcha. Okay.
Because everything in the ocean has teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the stupid
Makes sense.
needlefish.
Yeah, that thing was. I was like, what? It looked like a flute. I don't know if I should start playing it or. I was like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? I was like, all right, whatever. That's
Those things have
different.
teeth and they tear apart your soft plastics
Yeah, this was a tiny one. I mean, I think the shrimp
and
was
they're
bigger
about
than the damn
this
needlefish.
wide.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, all right, that's cool. That's different. Yeah, I don't have those up here.
So do you do any stream smallmouth fishing?
Yeah, some spots up me. So I live like further. I live a little bit closer to New York City. So like by me, I don't. There's not like the best. Like it's like more little ponds near me and like
Sure.
brackish water, the Housatonic River. So like there's a lot
Okay.
of schoolie striper fishing up by my area. And then if I head up another half an hour, 40 minutes, then I could start hitting like a little bit larger rivers, streams that have a lot of smallmouth fishing. But there's tons of great places up here, and I've done that. And I'm gonna like last summer, I really started getting my kids into it. Right, we get some water company passes, and in the summertime, the great thing about the water company access is the water's drawn down, so you get lots of shoreline access. Right, like, and
Yeah.
you can walk out really far, and it's great because these places we go have smallmouth in them, and they're stacked. And like if I can get my kiddos are 8 and 5 if I can get them catching, a 10-inch smallmouth, that's like the fight of their life, it's jumping in the
Yes.
air. And so that's
Oh
one
yeah.
thing. Oh, it's great. And that's one thing I really have been enjoying with them. But I also want to get back into more trout fishing.
Sure.
Typically I feel like bass anglers, sometimes we just target bass only, right? And you almost forget about everything else. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get my trout stamp and get back to stream fishing and, wading in the water. That's just always something I always loved to do as a kid. But yeah, we fish. I mean, like around there is one, the Naugatuck River. There's a lot of smallmouth. That is some place where I would take my old canoe. There's like a little access pot behind a church that you drag it down a hill. And I mean, you tie a tube on or even
Yeah.
like a rooster tail. Yeah. And you're
Try
just,
this
I
next
mean, you're
time you're there. Try small little crappie jigs that are like brown or green or orange
okay.
with a
Yeah.
16th ounce. If you can get a bigger, you don't even need a big hook. I have caught up when I was in the Air Force. I had a lot of time and
Yep.
no money, and I had these little bitty jigs, and I caught some amazing. I never measured them. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
I didn't have money for scales, and
Yeah. Yeah. Just hold it up. 5-pounder.
I always had
Yeah.
money for beer. But that's one thing I
I
think
know.
about.
Ain't that the truth?
I think back to that now. How the heck did I do all that drinking?
We all look back and say, Jesus Christ, if I had saved all those pennies and nickels from buying 30 packs, I'd be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, drank it all away.
But I didn't have money for new jigs.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what little jigs I like using in like the rivers and streams, like the Gets It makes
Gets
like
It?
really tiny. It's almost like a tube. You know what
Oh,
I'm
I know
saying?
exactly what a Gets It is. Yes.
Oh my God,
I
those
own dozens of
those are
them.
great.
Yes.
Yeah, those catch
That's
everything.
what I'm talking about, man. I had these little bitty crappie, inch and a half jigs. That's crappie size, and I caught
Yeah,
some amazing smallmouths. But not in lakes, but in small streams. But
yeah,
you have to know the stream. You have to know exactly where those fish are gonna. You know,
those breaks.
you have to know how to fish a stream. You don't walk up there in bright colors. And you got to kind of make long casts
Yep.
and you have to know how to make a light jig fall.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know your stuff to catch big smallmouths. Anybody can catch these guys.
Yes.
If you want to get the big guys, you have to know what you're doing in a stream because they're wary. If they see a shadow come up, they're just going to go down and hide in their hiding spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, well, it's 35 after the hour. I'd like to talk to you for 2 hours, but nobody's going to stick around for that long.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, do you have any shout outs you'd like to do, Frankie?
Yeah, sure. First off, I'd like to thank yourself, Jay, and Bassin Magazine for contacting us. And obviously, I love talking to you, and we're going to continue talking afterwards.
Yes.
But yeah, we'd thank you, and thank you for your service as well. We love our veterans, and we're proud. We have a lot of veterans, a part of Slay Nation, a lot of veteran-owned organizations that help partner and support us, and a lot of our directors are veterans or first responders. So that's something dear to our heart. So thank you. And then, we have a few title sponsors, Z Pro Lithium, right? If anybody's looking to get into lithium, because that is a game changer, and it's such a great partnership with us, because we're electric only in some of our stuff. So if you have a trolling motor and you get a lithium, I'm telling you right now, get rid of the lead battery.
Imagine that. How much more convenient that would be on a small boat to have a freaking battery that only weighs like 15 pounds.
This is the 10. This is the 12. This is a 12 volt 10 amp, but this is like your electronics. You'll run your electronics for a week straight with this thing. It's like 2 pounds.
Looking at that thing, that's even small that's even light for a small battery.
Oh, this is really small, and I mean the 100 amp hours. They're like
100 amp hours.
They're like 20 pounds. Yeah, but you'll last like Z Pro Lithium. The owner Michael Z. They're out of Texas. He's like a student of lithium. He studied from the guy that invented lithium batteries. Like, it's not like they're a brand that just gets these manufactured batteries and slap their logo on it. He creates the batteries. Like, he created the batteries that are used in airports for metal detectors. Like, he's like a scientist, So Z Pro Lithium, go check them out. Go check out X-Zone Lures, right? X-Zone Lures. Hookset Hoodlums, they're an apparel company, veteran owned, first responder ran. Hookset Hoodlums, go check them out. Heat Your Meat. So if you like spices, if you like to grill, barbecue, whatever it might be, Heat Your Meat is out of Connecticut, another veteran owned organization. This is actually one of their pickling kits. You can get this on their website. And I use their mild and their everything bagel seasoning on like everything, Jay. It's like, I got to send you some. Do you like a little bit of heat?
Oh yeah.
If you like the little heat or whoever, but it tastes really good too. So it's like really seasoned, but just has a little kick. It just amplifies everything. Harmony Fishing Company. There are the official hook of Slay Nation tournament fishing. And who else am I missing? I think that's it. Z Pro, X-Zone, Harmony. Yeah. And then all of our other Slay Nation partners, which there's like 35 people on that list, but so we have to thank everybody that supports us. And then you could take a visit at SlayNationTournamentFishing.com and follow us.
Okay, well, man, thank you so much, Frankie. I know you're a very busy man with everything that you do, just like all of us are, but thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to our viewers here on the Bassin Magazine podcast. Bassin Magazine, guys, is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. I'm Jay Angel, a very happy podcaster, along with Frankie Provolone from Slay Nation, director of Slay Nation, I guess is what I can call you, huh?
Yeah. Director, founder, whatever you want to say.
Founder, director, CEO, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. And you know what? It's Wednesday. Make your plans. Get out there this weekend. You only get to do this once. Let's have some fun. Stick around, Frankie. I'm going to end the podcast now.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us on.
You're very welcome.